Good afternoon, everybody. It is July 27th, a Tuesday. I'm sorry, I had to look at the calendar today. I've been fog brained. I have been like, the only way I can describe it without being so melodramatic is I feel like I've been rode hard and left wet, as some people would say. I've had a turbulent weekend dealing with stuff around the house. I'm not going to go into detail because it's not. Let's just say, because of certain events that has happened in the last couple of days with Jan's hip and knee, giving her an extreme amount of problems with extreme amount of pain, and right now there's not much we can do for it short of going to the ER, but Jerry doesn't want to do that, and I really don't want to take her to our particular hospital, but that's another tale or story or whatnot, or opinion. But I've been wanting since Friday to get certain things done around the house. Now, when we didn't get anything done around the house Friday or Saturday, I was getting annoyed because it was like. But then, come Sunday, Jerry was having some extreme amounts of problems, extreme amount of pain and whatnot, and I'm like, hospital? No, I just, it only hurts, when I walk on it or lay on it the wrong way, and I'm like, but you're bawling your eyes out, and you're causing me frustrations and anxieties and issues that make me want to just run for the hills, and so basically since Saturday evening, Sunday morning, I've been like long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, just waiting for somebody to squish the tail. So I've been kind of like, I can't really get into any of my cleaning or any of the things that I want to get into because I'm afraid that either A, I'm going to be in the middle of something that I can't just step away from, or something of that nature, or just the fact that I'm in the middle of something really good and I'm enjoying what I'm into, and I'll have my whole I'll just, I'll have her call me for something that sounds like an emergency, and it will annoy the crap out of me when I go in there and find out it's not an emergency. It's just can you help me with something? And I'll be like, really? Okay. So it's one of those, trying to delicately balance being available to help her to being able to do what I want to do. So it's literally one of those like, okay. And then yesterday night, because of her needs and whatnot, she was sprawled diagonally across the bed, which when I'm not trying to sleep is fine and dandy, I don't care. But we had talked, and it was decided that I might have to sleep on the click-clack couch, which is not the most comfortable couch to sleep on. But just to be in the same room with her in case it's an emergency, instead of her trying to wake me up all the way sleeping on the couch all the way in the living room. Yeah, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, why don't you just sleep on the bed in the guest room? Well, if you saw what we had to do to accommodate all the beds, I'm just going to put it that way, that we have extra and have not decided what to do with them, you would look at the situation and go, Either somebody needs a very, 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 very comfortable bed, or it's a princess and the pea situation, because we have our old California King that we were trying to replace in there. Then on top of that is that extra soft California King, or the extra soft King from IKEA, or no, from QVC. On top of that, and then on top of that is the queen mattress that we had no place to store. So it's kind of like, are you trying to sell mattresses, or you just don't know what kind of bed you want? So yeah, I mean, I could have tried to climb up there and sleep, but might have been a little awkward and dangerous, because if I roll over the wrong way, I could. That's a good 6 to 7 foot drop there in a very oddly shaped space that basically I could either come down, hit the round table really hard and knock myself unconscious, or break something, as in a bone or something that could be harmful to me, and then I would be no good to Jerry. So it's kind of like, yeah. So I chose to sleep on the click couch, click clack couch. Yeah, that's a tongue twister right there. But the thing was, before Jerry fell asleep, like around midnight or so, about an hour before I came to bed, crawled into bed, Jerry goes, I don't know if you need to sleep down there. You can try sleeping on the bed, but if I'm uncomfortable and I need you to move, would you be willing to move? And I'm like, sure. So about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, it was that time. The one thing I do like about our new bed is the fact that you can get in and out of bed without really disturbing your partner, which is one of the big reasons why we wanted a new mattress, because the old one was like, anytime she rolled over, I was like, huh? Now it's just like all the whole night. So, but anyhow, she must have gotten up to go to the bathroom or something like that, and I guess because of the trip going to the bathroom, she came back to bed kind of in pain and woke me up gently and said, Jim, are you willing to move to the cliff? And I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. Half awake, half asleep, grab my pillow, put a pillow on the bed, on the click clack, and grabbed a blanket and put on like my pajama pants and socks just to keep warm, because our little Dyson is right there by the door, which kind of blows the whole room to keep the whole room cool. So I basically covered up with a blanket that I had and wore everything but this. I can't sleep in this. I tried once and no, just a little. It's bad enough when you roll over and your shirt is trying to go stay where you are while you're trying to move, but when you have 2 layers and both of them want to go in 2 different directions, it's like, no. But all in all, I mean, it's like I said, it could be worse. She could be in the hospital, God forbid, on dialysis or some other equipment that they couldn't bring to the house. So I'm just happy that she's breathing, or not actually in the hospital. Because I don't like my local hospital that has a bad rep for either causing more severe problems or losing the patient. I'm kind of surprised the hospital's still standing because of all the incidents and lawsuits I've heard about going up against that hospital for making things worse. In fact, one of the things our doctor asked when we were telling her situations, she was like, "Have you gone to the hospital lately?" And it's like, no. And she goes, "Okay, then I can rule out sepsis." And I'm like, "What? No, we're not going there again." But the other reason why we don't want to go to the hospital is because COVID-19 Delta variant is on the rise in our area. And I'm like, I'm glad I'm not working, because either A, I'd end up having to be let go of the job because they closed my department, or they closed down the business to the point where they don't need everybody. I've already seen a lot of places that had the signs that said dining room open, take that down, and basically close the dining room to the point where it's drive-through only. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm just like, I'm waiting for the actual government, not just the CDC, but the federal government and state government, saying, yeah, we need to nip this in the bud and start doing shutdowns and yada yada yada. But that's my opinion. Let's get into the positive stuff, so I don't continue on this downward spiral that I've been trying to keep myself going on to. I did not read anything from American Cozy last night because I was actually having trouble focusing on a lot of things. In fact, last night, one of the things I wanted to do last night is I wanted to start taking notes on a future series. I think what I'm going to do, because I've had a number of people ask me to read Revelations or do my opinion of the end times from... They didn't give specific sources. They just said, what's my opinion on the end times? And I was like, ooh, there's so many different source materials that I have just right here in my office, between the end time variation of Revolution, to the end time variation of Ragnarok, to the bits and pieces that I have to research again on what the Native Americans, the different pieces of information that archaeologists and people have found about the end times. Mary Summer Rain did a short video of what the Native Americans said about the end time. She doesn't have that information in any of the books that I can remember that I have. But a lot of people might think that's well, it is. It's very let me see if I can say the word, because my brain wants to say one word with another. It's one of those, let's just put it in my words, Jim. It's one of those touchy-feely subjects, because a lot of people have their opinion. There's the opinion there's the pictures or the words from the Bible. There's the stories and whatnot from the Norse Viking people. Every creed, culture, and religion has their own version of what the end times are going to be, or the signs for the end times, things like that. So it's kind of like one of those, I can do that, but either I'm going to lose people or I'm going to gain people, or there's going to be argumentative situations. But I figured if I do it, which I'm really thinking about doing, just because I don't know why. Let's just put it this way, I don't know why. But I'm thinking about doing it. I know there's going to be a lot of people going, and I'll be like, well, that's my, I'm every video that I have that I'm reading material from and making comments about, it's my opinion. I'm just taking the material that I have available and reading it, and then putting in my opinion. Okay. Sorry, I heard a weird noise coming from the ceiling above me, and I just kind of went, air conditioning settling, coming on? I don't know. Maybe it was the mailman dropping something off. I don't know. But I think that's my next area of or my next topic after American Cozy. It's either going to be end time discussions or I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But it seems to be one of those topics that a lot of people are discussing lately because, I mean, the last 2 years, at least, we've seen a lot of strange things happening between the pandemics, um, the ocean catching on fire in the Gulf Coast, just things that have been happening lately that are just not normal everyday phenomenon that you kind of go, yeah, okay, that's not normal. That's not even. That's nowhere near being normal. Let alone that the ocean catching fire. That's how does water catch fire? Literally, how does water catch fire? Now, okay, even if the fire that was under the water was caused by an oil pipe leakage, how does a spark occur underwater to cause the ocean to literally ignite and boil? I can't even think. I love thinking about the science of these things, but this is just, it's like water, fire. They don't mix. Water puts out fire. Fire does not exist in water. So how did that, it's just one of those kind of like, now if I was a scientific geek, which I kind of am, I would sit there and look at that and go, has anybody ever seen Pacific Rising? Where those aliens were coming up out of the Pacific Ocean and they had to build these giant machines called Jaegers to fight the alien? I'm sorry. It's like something out of sci-fi itself. It was a real live event that they caught on news cameras, and I'm sitting there thinking, that's science fiction. I can't even describe that naturally. So just that and factor the increased volume of natural disasters, the increased volume of riots and pandemics and diseases, and basically, without even reading the Bible, without even getting opening up the Revelations, everything I've been seeing and everything I've been hearing lately is like, there's only one more horseman of the apocalypse that I can think of that has not come out and showed its ugly face. No, maybe he has. We're just waiting for the last trumpet blow. We're waiting for the Antichrist. Because we've got war, we've got famine, we got disease, we've got death. So yeah, we're just waiting for the final trumpet blow. I mean, it's just like, I'm sorry, and you might have to go back and look at it, but there was a couple. I say within the last decade, maybe less, that various parts of the world, people were hearing what sounded like a trumpet blast, and the glass windows on buildings were vibrating but not breaking. I heard about that and I went, weird signs in the sky, the sound of a trumpet blast. And it wasn't happening in just one location; it was happening throughout the world and various different locations throughout the planet. And I'm like, okay. The first time I heard about it, I was just kind of like, something's happening that the general populace doesn't know about. Maybe a new mine or some new emergency system or something happening underground that's causing the sound of a trumpet with the windows blasting. But when they were talking about It happened over here in Europe, then it happened over here in Asia, and then it happened over here in Africa, happened over in South America. I think it happened here somewhere in the North America. It happened on just about every continent. And I just kind of went, no, that's not natural. That's supernatural. So that's one of the reasons why I've been like, especially after seeing the footage of the fire under the ocean and whatnot, I just kind of went, do we need to revisit Revelation? Do we need to read about Ragnarok? Do we need to just start looking up information on end times? I don't like being a doomsayer or anything like that, and that's one of the reasons why after I read Revelation the first time around, I just kind of went, no. Even for me back then, when I first read it back then, 20 years ago or so, I was kind of like, I can be negative, I can be dark at times, but something about Revelations just did not sit well with me back then. Don't know how well it's going to sit with me now. But it's one of those subjects where you kind of go, a lot of people don't want to think about it because of the factor they don't want to believe that there's a chance that events like that could happen, let alone are happening. I remember one of the stories in Revelations where it talks about basically it almost sounded like a flying scorpion, because it's like I can't remember the full details, but the one thing that made me think about it was it talked about the sound and the sting of a scorpion's tail, or a scorpion's tail on its backside, while the face of, I can't remember what, a face of a lion or something like that. And it almost sounded like it was trying to describe a chimera, but it was only talking about one tail with thundering wings and a weird face. And I just kind of went, helicopter? Warthog, the A-10 tank killer plane. Just in my mind, I started thinking about all the things of modern day era that this thing could be, the thing that they're talking about in Revelation could be. And I just kind of went, jet planes, helicopters, not just regular jet planes, but like A-10s, F-16s, F-15s, the various different types of fighter jets or attack helicopters that the various different countries have. And I'm just thinking of all the different things that the Bible, the picture the Bible is trying to paint, and I was like, how do I translate that into modern day type looking things? And I'm just like, maybe that's one of the reasons why I need to reread Revelation, because my mind can now go, okay, yeah, all right, but we'll see. But anyhow, I did not get to read American Cozy last night. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going squirrel moments because my brain was just like, I've had some coffee and I'm starting to wake up. But I don't know why I keep on grabbing for that. That's empty. I did read something last night because I was able to finally get my mind to focus on one particular subject, because I was like, I really don't feel like reading American Cozy. I don't feel like reading anything from the Bible, because it seems like every time I sit down and read from the Bible, something else happens and I get distracted and whatever. But I was reading from my I was reading from the Viking Handbook, or as it would be pronounced, it's Hondbòk. I like doing that. But anyhow, I got this section in here, and I've already read a good portion of this book, I can always go back and talk to you guys about it if you want to. If you're interested in that, you guys let me know what you're really interested in. Are you interested in hearing my opinion of the end times, or do you want me to read some more Viking type information? But anyhow, this one was what I read in here was quite interesting, and this is like part what is this, chapter 2? Yeah, chapter 2, the kingdom social life of Vikings. And I was reading here and it says party like it's $9.99, which is kind of funny. But just to paraphrase it, because I'm not going to go through it. Basically, the Vikings during their time were very social people. Even though history does not portray them as social people, they just portray them as raiders and pillagers and rapists and murderers and people who just come from the mists of the north and take whatever they want and kill everything in front of them. No, they're not always like that. They have a very good, strong social structure. And they do like to party. And just to read it, I'm going to go ahead and just read this real quick. It says here, the Viking Age was born in the great halls of chieftains who built friendship and alliances through generous feasts and gift giving. Large parties set the stage for distributing last summer's loot from raiding and recruiting for next summer. So during the wintertime, they basically partied, shared their loot, and started to recruit those who wanted to go raiding for next summer. Hospitality was huge with the Vikings in general, as you can see in the sagas of kings and gods, and the god Odin saying in the Havanal, and this is what it says from the Havanal, which I do have a book of. It says, "Hast thou a friend whom thou trustest well, from whom you cravest good, share thy mind with him, gifts exchange with him, fair to find him oft." Basically, somebody that you're really close with, that you trust with your life, basically, and you give each other gifts, and you crave each other's well-being. And you want to hope to find him in good, fair spirits and whatnot. They have this beautiful image here, and it's one of those like, okay. Vikings often round after round of toasts or filling up at feasts for victory from the gods and the king's success. They make the sign of the hammer over the cup to honor Thor, god of thunder, Odin, father of the gods and the god of battle, was said to have sworn never to. Odin, the father of the gods and god of battle, was said to he would swear not to drink until Loki was served. So the Vikings had a habit of offering toasts to Odin, flicking a few drops of their drink into the fire for Loki. Basically the 9th century version of pouring one out for your homies. I love how they put that. So yeah, during the wintertime or after the raiding season, basically, there was big feasts and parties and whatnot being thrown, and exchanging gifts and handing out loot to those who went raiding with them, and then recruiting those who wanted to go back out to go raiding for next summer. Modern day Vikings. I read a book called Modern Day Vikings, and basically what he says is during the winter times is when you bulk up. You just basically eat as much as you can to bulk up on protein and carbs and the whole 9 yards, because during the summertime, back in the old days, is when the Vikings would go raiding. So during the summertime, after bulking up during the wintertime, during the summertime you would work it off. You modern today the ways of working it off would be go out in the field, or go to the gym, or find some way to just work off all that extra bulk. I don't believe in doing stuff like that. I have a hard time bulking up, um, because I can bulk up, and 9 times out of 10, I don't. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I'm working or not, it doesn't all go away. You can tell just by the I have a little bit of a pot belly or a beer gut, depending on who you want to talk to. Then I was also reading about, in this just the season, and they talk about the three major holidays. Three major religious festivals stood out during the year for their emphasis on gathering and feasting. Winter nights after the harvest, Yule, and these are basically the seasons: Yule in midwinter and midsummer. At the end of the Viking Age, the early Norwegian law, and I cannot even pronounce this, Norwegian law code, Groldinging, made it a legal requirement, to brew beer for these fests. So they have a law in Norway that for the three different festivals, they have to have a special beer brewed for that specific holiday. And it set the dates to match. Okay, and it set the dates to match the Christian holiday equivalents of All Saints' Day, Christmas, and the feast of Saint John the Baptist. Yes, the modern day Norwegians have All Saints' Day, Christmas, and a feast of Saint John. Modern Vikings. This was interesting too. Even if you're not currently celebrating the feast of Saint John the Baptist, you can still take a hint from the Vikings and throw seasonal ale fests in your own great hall, basically your own home. Um, try a Viking style Oktoberfest, a midwinter Yule bonfire in December, or a summer solstice picnic. So basically, they're saying that we can still celebrate a beer fest or a Yule an ale fest on the particular days that they mentioned here. Now, I don't know what a Viking style Oktoberfest is, but I know what a German style Oktoberfest is, and boy howdy, I would love to do something like that. But well, maybe this year, if we don't go someplace for my birthday, I can go to our local brew house during their Oktoberfest and have myself a good old time trying October, seasonal type beer, ale, whatever. Otherwise, I might break down and go to that company that sends alcohol via post, because they don't sell it in stores. You can only buy it online. Havoc is the name of the company. Then she goes, or is it she? I don't know. It's a Norwegian name that I cannot. Christian? Could be male or female. I don't know. Some everyday community celebrations are so identified with beer that it's part of the name Gravel, Gravel, a wake of the dead, or a wake or grave ale. Sounds weird. And then a Barniol, which is a children's ale to celebrate a birth. And yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that particular word. Um, for those of you who know Norwegian or good with foreign languages, it is spelled TaklagO with umlauts over it, L. Barn raising or roofing ale. Okay, sounds interesting. I'm not going to get into the next one because it's all about grooming and the act of cleaning or cleaning up your act. If you're interested in more, I can give you more, but that's basically where I am right now in that book. Um, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy reading from different books to give you an insight or look at the Norse Vikings or what I'm trying to do around the house with the American Cozy. Um, I absorb this information. I literally absorb it like it's becoming a part of me because that's just my personality, which is kind of good with the American Cozy because then I'm learning how to rearrange and declutter and decorate my house and keep it clean and things of that nature. And I might end up having to go back over the American Cozy once just going to the hot spots, basically the information about the suggestions on how to do this or how to do that, that kind of thing. Um, but for one, I enjoy gaining knowledge. I enjoy reading books. I enjoy becoming more knowledgeable about certain things, especially if there are things that interest me, like the Vikings or Norse people, animals, information that most people would go, oh, that's not really useful in everyday life. It's more useful in everyday life than, oh, I don't know, um, modern day technology and its intricate workings. Because there will be one day where, in fact, according to some of the different, according to some of the Native American stuff I've read, and tidbits of information I've read here and there about the end times, all our modern day technology, when it gets closer to the end times, is going to mean jack squat. It's going to be scrap parts and whatnot, because one theory says that right before the end times, big hurrah, um, there's going to be a natural EMP burst that is going to knock out all technology of every kind, no matter what, even if it has military grade technology that protects from EMP bursts. This is going to be one of these supernatural EMP phenomenons that just it knocks out all digital technology of every kind. And I'm like, probably one of the big reasons why I'm not worried about digital technology. I would prefer to live in a time. I would prefer to be able to live in a time where right during the not Victorian era. What's right before the Renaissance era? Right before technology was, the idea of a light bulb or anything fancy dancy like that back in those days. So maybe not exactly Renaissance era, but maybe pre-industrial Victorian era. Because as far as I'm concerned, out of all the things that was ever discovered throughout time, I think we should have ended our pushing forward to what we now call the modern day era is, actually, how about this? Let's take out, let's take out all the tech, but leave um, all the knowledge that we've gained about medicine, but make it where the medicine is geared more towards natural holistics and not all this artificial chemicals. I'm not saying that modern day medicine is bad, but a lot of us, like myself, um, don't really get the effects or the positive effects that chemical medicine um, works with. Because what happens is, you give me a prescription medication, and if it's got a lot of artificial chemicals or a lot of stuff that's supposed to rearrange my brain mechanisms or whatnot, my body will be like, nope, nope, we like the way we are, we just don't like the pain or the suffering. And what will happen is, granted this was 30 years ago, a little bit, well, 35, almost 40 years ago, I was in my mid-teens, basically, when I was dealing with imipramine and antidepressants, antipsychotics. And what would happen is, and I think I've said this before, is I would take the medication, and within a short period of time, 2-3 months, maybe less, it wasn't working. And the doctors would just increase the dosage and then increase the dosage. And then they finally took a blood draw when they were going to increase the dosage like a third or fourth time. And they were like, oh, we have to take you off the medication because the toxins from the medicine in your bloodstream is becoming lethal. And I just kind of went, toxins in my bloodstream from the medicine that you guys prescribed to me? I don't trust you guys no more. So I have a hard time nowadays trusting any kind of medicine that has a potential of being a lethal medication. That's also one of the reasons why I don't trust psychiatrists, because the problem that I have with a lot of modern day medicines and doctors and whatnot is, they're trying to treat the symptom, not the cause. Find out what the cause is, treat that. Once you treat the cause, everything goes back to normal, or what's supposed to be normal. Quit slapping band-aids on problems and fix the cause. You know? But anyhow, I'm done for the day, for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the question comment box. I will address them as best as I can. Or if I have a reply, I'll put my reply on. Most of the time I just like heart it, because it's like, okay, read it, understand it, okay. If you have a comment that I've read but don't understand or have an issue, I'll either give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, or ask in the comment box, what do you mean? Explain this. Explain yourself. Oh, Jerry's moved around. I was like, what is that noise? So, yeah. Go ahead and put your comment in, and I'll address it when I can. If you're new to my channel and liked some of the things that I talked about today, go ahead and hit subscribe. Once you're done, once you've hit that subscribe button, little bell pop up, click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. Until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.